Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Wildest Game. We're doing a little scouting video. We got 2 days till bow season, so it's mission critical. We're going to try and bump through here, scout as quick as possible, try and show you some stuff along the way. All right, so we've walked a grand total of about 5 feet. Already found our first scrape. You see it's dished out pretty good here. You can actually pee in these things, and about 30 minutes after you pee in them, the deer can't tell the difference between your pee and their pee. But what's more important is your licking branch that's overhanging right here, making sure that's intact. If you want to mess with your buddies and ruin their hunting spot, break the licking branch off. You'll kill their scrape. Anyways, we're going to mark this and keep moving. All right, so if you're seeing this in the woods, this is not deer sign. This would be hog sign right here. What you're going to get is we got a creek down this way. When the hogs go through the creek or any kind of water, they get wetted up, mudded up, and then they brush up against these pine trees. And the reason they brush up against the pine trees, golly, these mosquitoes, man. The reason they brush up against these pine trees is they want to get the sap in the mud, and that's what builds up what they call the armor coating on a hog. That's why their skin's so tough and so matted up, because they get that sap and that mud mixture built onto the side of them like an armor plate. So that's what we're seeing here. So we know there's hogs in this area. This would be a good area to hog hunt. From where we were at, because the mosquitoes were absolutely deadly, but we're about maybe 400 yards from where we were at. We're down on the bottom of my first field where my feeder's at. We're gonna load this thing up. Right now, we're not getting any pictures of deer down here. We're just getting hogs. And a lot of that has to do with the acorn drop. Yeah, we're about clean out of corn. But right now, this is more so a hog spot than a deer spot, but it does make for a good deer spot during season after the oaks have dropped and the deer start patterning closer to the bottom. So what you'll see and what you need to pay attention to on a property when you're scouting is how do the deer move through here. Well, I can tell you based on camera data and based on what the deer are doing right now, they're up over there in the oaks, and this is way too far out of the way. So the only time you're gonna get a picture down here is at night. So right now, opening day of deer season, this will not be my spot, but we're gonna go ahead and put some corn on it anyway. Dylan, what are you doing?
Making a mock scrape. What are you doing?
I guess I'm filming you taking a piss. Whew. That's gonna itch when it dries. It's counting down.
It's throwing the duration, but it's not
Kicking the motor on?
not spinning the motor. That would be why.
Oh, yeah, you did that when you opened it. Now I'm definitely going back up. There we go. Corn tack.
Good to go.
All right, so we've made it into the oaks. Early season, this is where you want to be, especially if you're not hunting over a corn pile. You can see we got white oaks all around us. They are dropping. They're dropping early because of how cool it's been in the latter half of the summer. But if you come in close and get down here, look at this ground. See how tore up it is? See how these leaves are pretty much mulched? That means this is a very high traffic area, and it's something that can be easily overlooked by newer hunters. But you got white oaks dropping. This is the closest thing to a white oak acorn I could find right here, because just everything that was fresh and didn't have a worm in it has been absolutely tore up. So this is a spot I'm going to be looking to hunt probably in the next week. But what I'm looking for is I need a wind blowing this direction. That way I get good entry. And then I'll probably set up in that white oak tree right there because it's got good back cover, and shoot off this direction. The deer are going to be bedding down there. If you look down there, you can see all those blowdowns. Traditionally, you're not going to see a lot of deers bedding in the oaks. However, with the amount of blowdowns and the amount of trash we have on the ground and the amount of sunlight we're getting on the ground now because of Helene, we're we're getting a lot more prime bedding habitat, especially for bucks that want to bed on their own or want to bed in bachelor groups. They're going to be bedding close to these acorns so they can feed and get back to bed without making too big of a movement. So this is the kind of spot you want to look for. So keep an eye out for stuff like this when you're scouting. This could be your killing spot right here. Here. Doesn't look like much, but if you look at some of these little ravines and gullies like this, they can tell you a whole lot, because when the deer traverse them, they typically kick this up like you see here and like you see there. But if you get the camera down here and look down that way and look off that way, you've just got an absolute perfect trail right through here for a deer. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this on Onyx. This is good stuff. And you got acorns on the trail too, so this is definitely a heavily traveled travel corridor.
Definitely plenty to
Yeah.
stop them along the trail.
All right, so this is a prime example of a perfect place for a nice big buck to bed. So you can see here, I'm pretty sure we've had some deer bedding in this spot here because the grass is knocked down a little shorter than everything else around it. But where we're at, we're on this nice big secondary ridge point. You got a steep drop off headed towards the creek bottom down there. So what you're gonna end up with is you're gonna end up with a spot that's almost impossible to kill a deer in. And the reason why is he's gonna bed with his back to you like this, looking down into those bottoms. Anything comes up from the bottoms at him, he's got you on lock with the eyes. Now, he's gonna have the wind blowing over his back, and he's gonna be smelling for anything coming from behind him up towards the top of the ridge. So typically you're only gonna see a buck bed on a point like this when the wind's blowing down the point or off to the side of the point where he has good front cover. He can sit in here and sneak out of here before you ever even get in the woods and get a shot at him. That's why you never see deer in the woods, because they got you beat before you even knew they were there. So this is a great spot for bedding. We're going to leave this alone, come back to it, and hopefully our big boy beds in here and he walks past my camera and my stand, and we get a shot at him. All right, so this is a prime example of why scouting is important. We just dove probably 400 yards that way, parked over here. We walked right past this because we went a little bit over that way. This is the freshest of scrapes you're gonna find. You get down here close, I ain't gonna touch it, but see that limb right there? That's freshly broken off, still green. Came right off the licking branch up there. So what we did is we went from, let's put a camera down there where they're eating these acorns. Look at that big old boy. That's like deer candy right there, baby. So I went back down, pulled my camera, and I'm gonna put it up here on this scrape because this is gonna tell us a lot more than just where they're feeding. It's gonna tell us about every deer that's crossing this ridge point through here. Line of sight through there. There's another trail going that way. We got oaks in here. This is a beautiful spot to put a camera. So we're gonna hang this camera right here and see what we get. All right, so we're gonna set this camera here. It's about 20, 30 feet off the scrape. It's got a trail intersecting. We got a trail intersecting there, trail coming off there. An old deer stand right here, which is always a good omen. Them old folks know what they're doing, or they knew what they were doing anyway. I don't think anyone's hunting that stand no more. Anyways, we're gonna set this stealth revolver right here. These cameras are real cool. They take 360-degree pictures. So if something comes off that way and walks behind the camera, it'll catch it. Something comes off that scrape, it'll catch it. Something's walking up in here, it'll catch it. Nothing gets past these cameras. It's like doing an observation sit. Every time a deer walks past it, it's giving you data. So these cameras are really cool. It's about all I'm running right now. So we're gonna get this lashed up on this tree, get her turned on, and get the heck out of here. All right, so this right here is primo. Super fresh. We got a fresh scrape. They're clearly starting to scrape because I came out here 2 weeks ago, didn't find any scrapes. We found like 6 today, but you got a scrape here, licking branch up here, and then if you notice right there, we got a nice rub on that little sapling there, so you know bucks have been here. It's not just does, this is bucks and does. This is a good spot. And look how close we are to where we parked. I mean, man, this is, get out of my face.
All right, so here we have a pinch point for deer. If you pan around here, you'll actually see where they've been crossing it. It's great during the rut because they're going to look for the lowest point in the ditch, the path of least resistance, just like us, to cross it. So something else good to look for. Also to note, you're still in acorn territory, so you're still good. So something else for us to look out for come rut.
All right, so that's going to conclude today's scouting video. I hope you learned something. I hope it helps you kill deer. This is our last preseason scouting trip because tomorrow is opening day. So hopefully we found somewhere to sit tomorrow evening, and hopefully we end up dragging something out. Y'all stay deadly and keep your boots on the ground.